Hi, this is Cash Grab with another video about the Days Gone challenges. Today we're looking at Hog Wild and what you need to do to crack the global top 25. Now I'm making this video for two reasons. Number one, just to put the information out there for anyone who's interested in trying to boost their score. And number two, in response to a conversation I was having with another challenge mode player, Guillotine Pons 02, who is ranked 6 on the challenge, so higher than me, but just to show a few different options on what you need to do to get a great score on this challenge. Okay, so first off, you need to have the gear ring fully upgraded, and you need the snake ring, again fully upgraded, and that is to protect your fuel tank, which is absolutely key, and to protect your bike, which is also key. It's also helpful to have the indestructible patch, the insight patch, and what's this one called? The hit and run patch, basically to kind of help you with the bike. So those are the challenges you need to do are Reload, Hog Wild itself, and Dead Don't Ride. In terms of the sub challenges, you need to get a gold on all 4. I'll come back to those in a little bit more detail in a second. I'm currently ranked 9 on this challenge. I will be aiming for a bigger score at some stage, but I thought I'd share this information while I'm working on this challenge. So the bottom of the top 25, you need to get at least 195k basically to get into the top 25. As I always say, you know, those players who've made it that far, they've done a lot of work, and these are good scores and good players, so in no way am I denigrating their scores. The kind of key things that you need to bear in mind for this challenge are basically you need to get all the golds on all the sub challenges, but really it's all about jumping. It's all about jumping and preserving your fuel tank, and I'm going to show 3 different areas in which you can really boost your score and get to the point where you can get to the top 25. Okay, so as we're making our way down to our first jumping location, I'll just talk you through the sub challenges. So hang time, so we need to get air time, that's not going to be a problem. Drive by, you need to kill 10 freakers. Can't stop is all about making sure you boost for 60 seconds. And then won't stop is making sure that you basically don't brake at any time or come off the bike, and that clock in the top right hand corner is your guide. You want to basically keep it at 20 seconds, anything lower than 18 and you're in trouble basically. So in terms of this initial bit, I had previously counselled that you might as well boost through the section. I now do not think that is the case at all. I would very much not boost, try and get airtime to get the gear ring active. You can see that in the bottom left hand corner, and then this is the first location, which is I think the simplest, but probably not the best of the 3. So what you're trying to do here is to drift into that, keep the multiplier going, which matters. I go for the slightly on the left hand side of this jump, which I think is better. Try to avoid boosting apart from when you're jumping, because it uses up more of your fuel. I have stress tested, I'm pretty confident that's the case. And again, we're just trying to hit those jumps, and you can see as the multiplier increases, so does the value of each jump. So it's important where you can to keep that going. Once you lose the multiplier, and you'll see this now, basically this now is less of a score. And as we go round and round, you'll see that as the multiplier increases, so does the score for each individual jumps. Now, a couple of other kind of points which I think are worth bearing in mind. If you can, try and land the bike slightly side on, because it helps you to drift back round and keep the multiplier going. And the other thing is, you're going to need to jump a lot. You need to get a kind of minimum in this section of being up to maybe 140k, which is totally possible. And then if you can not come off the bike, you reach the other sub challenges, which you will do. You'll probably be at gold for all of them except for the freakers pretty much by the time you leave this section. Then you're guaranteed to score at least 190k points. As you need 195, it might be worth going to 145 or 150 depending on where your fuel tank is. And in terms of the fuel tank, I wouldn't leave here until the fuel tank is yellow, and I'd even do 2 or 3 more jumps before I did that. And that was a really good piece of advice from the number 1 on this, which is Borislav 24/7, another bike challenge he's the top of, shock horror. So I'm just showing here again that the multiplier makes a massive difference to jumps. So you can kind of get up to 800-900 points a jump, depending on if you've got the multiplier high. And as you'll see in a minute, once the multiplier is lost, that goes down to about 400. And if you think fundamentally your score comes 90% of it from your jumps, it really matters as to where that multiplier is. And you can see it's always pretty shaky, so you do what you need to do to keep it going. Try not to boost too much, because like I said, it rinses your fuel tank, which is fundamentally your primary resource for this. Now, some of these jumps aren't perfectly executed, but I just wanted to kind of show them. As you can see, I've got the multiplier in a good place there. You can sometimes get a little bit of airtime if you take that particular route. And again, even though that's not a perfectly executed jump, there's 800-900 points, so pretty good. Just about to lose the multiplier, which is the last thing I'll show on this run, and then I'll show what it looks like on the in the other two areas where I think it's quite possible that you can score a better one. There you go, down to 500. Okay, this is the second location, and this is better. Now again, this is another tip from Borislav. So if you use a section where you're jumping to and fro, it means you're losing less time and therefore less fuel in between jumps. Again, not technically perfect here at all from me. In terms of these jumps, I would be careful not to go too hard on the boost, because it's very easy to come off here actually. And I tend to go to the right on that one, and then you're trying to drift round. Again, this is not perfect technically, but it's okay. And a little bit of boost, because otherwise you won't end up making that jump and you can crash. You can also get caught in those wires, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, again, to the right, little drift round the corner. Again, not perfect, but just keep your finger on the accelerator and you'll be fine. I haven't stress tested this one in particular for getting a big score. I know Boris very kindly did, and just kind of messing around, not particularly going for absolute perfection. He did manage to score 270k, so this is definitely a very good area. Be a little bit careful about not hitting that ring there, because that triggers the freakers to come up from their position. And it doesn't really matter, because you can definitely shoot them, but it just can be a little bit distracting. And when you're kind of doing 200-300 jumps, whatever it is, you just don't want to lose concentration, because if you're at a good score and you crash, it's super frustrating. So anyway, continuing here just to show the difference in if you have a multiplier or not. There you go, I've lost it, and we're down to 420. That's me triggering that. Freakers don't come up quite yet, but they will do. I don't think I show it, but they definitely do, and it's just quite irritating really, more than anything else. There we go, back and forth, and you can see we're getting a good few hundred points each time. So you can imagine if you go through the whole fuel tank and you're laughing. And now this is the third and final location I'll show, which I think is probably the best one. I did stress test this. I didn't particularly go for perfection, but I got, I think, 240, 245k. So again, and that was without really paying attention to the multiplier and whatnot. So it's another good one. Be a little bit careful there. And then this one is quite straightforward, because you have less opportunity to crash. And the guide really is the centre of that ramp there, right where the arrows are. Careful of that sign there, because if you hit it, you will crash. Also, back down the centre. Again, if you can turn the bike a little bit in the air, that's great. And then you just drifting back round. Up and up again. Again, wary of that sign. Don't go left or right. Keep it down the middle, because otherwise there are some hazards you can hit. And round and round we go. Again, the multiplier matters. You can see here with it, in a reasonable-ish pace, that's 700, 800 points. Once you lose the multiplier, if that's the case, just be wary of these freakers. Again, they're a bit irritating. That's the only bad thing about this section. It's not like they're difficult to kill, but it's super frustrating when you find yourself trying to get a score and you lose concentration, or you're trying to hit a freaker, you lose your line. Then it can be a problem. So again, the multiplier is quite tight to keep going. Do what you can. The further you drift around there, the less likely you are to be able to keep it. Here we go. Lost it. You can see here the points are less good. So I'm getting 400 or 500 points. Doesn't sound like a massive difference, but cumulatively it makes a difference. And just to reiterate, don't go too hard on the boost. Keep an eye on your fuel tank. Once it goes to yellow, few more jumps, and then you just need to be really careful for the final section. And that's about it really. I imagine the view time on this is going to be about 1 minute, and not many people are going to watch it because no one cares about Hog Wild, but anyone who does care, it's there. And I'll be back on Sunday with a video of me trying to take out the whole of the Keep Them Safer horde using only the crossbow. So I hope you enjoy that. Hope you enjoyed this. Thanks very much for watching, especially if you got to the end. Thanks.